Nothing in common with this event in Belarus, because it's mostly like ritual for dictators when they reappoint themselves. In Belarus, people call it a special electoral operation. People came, to these so-called elections, and people will be made. Lukashenko knows that Belarusian people haven't given up in our fight for freedom, and despite all the repressions that are continuing for years already, people continue to fight, those who are in exile and those who are in the country. Lukashenko needs, show. He needs to show to the world that look how many people came, to these so-called elections, and people will be made to come to polling stations. And of course, nobody will go in to count votes or, just or show what's happening in reality in polling stations. But people need to do some act. So we ask them to put this tick against everybody in this ballot, and that's it. The only intrigue about these so-called elections is how much Lukashenko will draw in the final ballot. So first of all, I want to remind to the world that since 2020, at least 60,000 people went through repressions, went through prison in Belarus. 500,000 left the country because of brutality of the regime. And till now, more than 1,400 people stay behind the bars. Many of these people, for more than 2 years, are held incommunicado, including my husband. Before so-called elections, he releases people, just sending not clear signal, to the democratic world. Look, maybe it might step forward, maybe not, because it's not change of policy. It's like testing democracy. Look, I released 20 people. Is it enough for you? Are you ready, to lift sanctions? Are you ready, to recognize me? No? Okay, 20 more. But we have to underline here that while releasing, for example, 20 people for the same period of time, 3 times more are getting detained. I don't want people who left the country to live in this exiled bubble, and lose connection with people in Belarus. So, of course, we are trying to support those small communities, those activists, cyber partisans in Belarus who continue to fight. It's very difficult, to do, but we are looking for possibilities, to do this. And, I personally have a lot of communication with personalities on the ground. We actually have a lot of informants from Belarus, and including also those who are in the regime. While Lukashenko is in the position he is now, he seized power, unleashed the most brutal terror our country seen for years. He's not ready to change country. He will remain puppet of Putin. He will continue to sell our country to Russia just to stay in the power. So that's why our task now is to weaken this regime as much as possible. I don't want people who left the country to live in this exiled bubble. And I'm absolutely sure that changes will come to Belarus. I don't know when. So many factors now are influencing the situation in our country. It's the war in Ukraine, it's eagerness of Russia to suppress, our nation, our country. But I truly believe that, a democratic world that is on the side of people of Belarus can bring changes in our country. Our fight is not just only for Belarus, it's a fight against dictatorship, because dictators, they are threatening democracy as it is.
So what is your message then to the Belarusians?
But I believe that democracy has teeth, and they have possibility and strength, to fight dictators. So nobody has to do our job instead of us. It's due to Belarusian people to return our country back. But no one war and no one fight cannot be won if you're alone. We need allies in this fight. The moment of these peace negotiations, Ukraine must be as strong as possible. And I think the democratic world should give Ukrainians everything they need to have these strong positions. And so is Belarus and Ukraine. Our fates are actually intertwined. We are fighting the same evil. So the fate of Belarus, of course, depends a lot. And that's why we are talking to our democratic partners that in the moment of negotiations, because for sure there will be mediators, around this table, the Russian issue should be included into these negotiations. And there should be demand withdrawal of Russian troops not only from Ukraine but also from Belarus, including nuclear weapon. And Russia should conduct the policy of non-interfering into internal issues of Belarus. Belarusian people are afraid of now is that Belarus might be given as consolation prize to Putin. That at the moment of negotiation we might save, Ukraine on some terms, but Belarus will stay in the status quo, and it will postpone changes in Belarus for many, many years.